Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Microphone is on. I hope you can hear me stream. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another workshop. Please give me a thumbs up if you understand me clearly, like if the technique, everything is working so far, because I have an external microphone here. Please give me a thumbs up quick and let me know where you are live right now. So, in which country you're from and your name I see in the chat. So, just smash in the chat where you're from, and if the technique, if the technical stuff, if you can hear me, please. I can have a look. Boom, 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 boom. Just give me another minute. I let people. Finland, cool. Karel van Finland. Heller from Amsterdam. Oh, ik praat ook een beetje Nederlands. Super. Here, good. Care. Super. Amazing. Okay, then I know that the technique is working so far. I give another 50 seconds and then we go right into the forecast, how to read forecast. By the way, you can also rewatch the whole video, but the advantage, hey, Patrick is back, surfer from the Bronx. Okay, cool. Craig, bisschen leise, sonst gut. Timmy, okay, he says it's a little bit quiet. I would put the microphone closer towards me. Should be fine. Have a look. Yeah, okay, cool. Technical stuff, test, should be fine. Okay, welcome guys to another live workshop, because I'm going to teach you everything about forecasts, how to read the forecast better and to have a better understanding once you want to go for your holiday or your next surf trip, because I read that Craig is from the Bronx and he lives close to the beach. The advantage of being live with me, you can ask questions and I will ask you questions as well. So I'm always stoked about this, because I can interact with you even without being with you in your room or whatever, because at the moment I'm in South Spain and I'm coaching there as well. And in the summer we have even a surf week. But I saw that 65% of you guys are new. So you probably never had a workshop. That's why I introduce my really quick. I'm Daniel. I'm ISA2 surf coach, means I coach over 10 years. And I'm the co-founder of the Surf Companions. The Surf Companions, with the books, we have the beginner and the intermediate, but also our online courses, the YouTube channel, the Instagram tips, and also one-on-one coaching with me or with Marvin. We have an ambassador team, and I love to bring your surfing to the next level. This is the main part you have to get out of Surf Companions. So it doesn't matter what you get from us, like free workshop like this, the free YouTube videos, or whatever you take from us, we improve your surfing. So I'm really stoked about it. And this year, 2023, is even more about you guys. So let's jump right into it. If you, now a few more people are here. So that's about me. I'm the co-founder, like together with Florian, Flo. We are a German company, but I speak Dutch, German, Spanish, and I do everything in English. By the way, we live in a big house, so it could be that you hear my dog barking right now. But those amazing illustrations, yeah, I cannot draw that beautiful. It was Flo. So Flo did all the professional illustrations. And I told him what to draw, because I'm a coach. So every little step-by-step approach is thought through from out of a coaching perspective. So you look at it and you will understand it. It's the main purpose about the books. But today's topic is about the surf forecast, how to read wave better. First of all, before I jump in, can you give me a quick answer, like in the chat, if you're a beginner surfer or you're an intermediate? Just write beginner and intermediate. You can also write if you really feel like advanced. Please write in, because then I will use some vocabularies more for beginners and more for care is beginner surfer. Cool. Intermediate, Craig, out to the Bronx. Craig Blue. Sounds cool. It's a cool name. Intermediate, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Yes, come on. Patrick, intermediate, beginner, intermediate. Okay, haha. Beginner, intermediate. I would call you beginner deluxe. Craig, Shaka. Okay, cool. Guys, let's jump right into it. Before I can explain you what you see in a forecast, I have to explain you what you actually see there. So to rewind that, like in a surf forecast nowadays, you see a lot of numbers and you probably get totally confused, like those number means, and so on. We will go into an example, but first of all, I have to explain you what's actually showing there in numbers. So I hope even for you guys as a beginner, we get our waves from really big storms out in the ocean. Yeah, we have different oceans. Yeah, out of the Bronx, we have the Pacific Oceans, but here in Europe, we get most. I stick with Europe for the example because I'm here. I'm mostly coaching in Europe. We have the big Atlantic Ocean. So you don't have to think, by the way, this is a landmark. Probably it's mirrored with you, but you can imagine it. It's like this is Europe, here's England, this is France, North Spain, here's a bit Portugal, and here's South Spain. So what you have to have in mind is we're gonna get waves not really close to the shoreline. No, the waves are created really far out in the oceans, like big, big storms. This is number one, especially for the beginner. That energy, I'm going to draw big circles. Maybe you saw it in the weather channel. Yeah. Those low pressure systems create actually waves. Imagine you with your fisher boat. Everyone has a fisher boat. It's like, who was from Amsterdam again? Yeah. Edward van der Meer is with a small fisher boat from Amsterdam. Here outside, what happens there is a big storm. Maybe you saw some YouTube videos about like those big boats. It's stormy, it's rainy. This is where the waves are created, first of all. So this energy of creation, low pressure system, everything has to sound cool, we call swell. So this energy of swell is traveling to us. Swell, S-W-E-L-L. So this swell energy will come towards our coasts and beaches and bring us waves. So I'm going to ask you the first question. One wave, how many kilometers per day can one wave travel? Around how many kilometers? Let me know. In 24 hours. Smash the chat. What do you think? Like in 24 hours, like in one day, how many kilometers can pass like one wave? How one wave starts here, where where Edward van der Meer is with a fishing boat, and till here. You know, it's a big distance. It's around 1,500 kilometers when you look at the geographical standpoint. But how many? 35, correct, says 35 kilometers per day. Yeah, in 24 hours. It's like one wave is traveling. So this would be take 1,000, would be like 30 days if you would be Greg. But how many kilometers per day? What do you guys think? Please quick in the chat and I will see it, because it makes you understand the following way better. What do you get? 100 kilometers. Okay, we have 100 kilometers from El Cuco, 400. It's almost sound like I'm selling here art or so. Like 400 from Patrick, El Cuco 135. I'm giving you a solution. Patrick was really close. It's around 500 kilometers per day. So one wave can travel up to 500 kilometers per day, means like when there's a big storm created out of the Atlantic Ocean, could also be in the Pacific or the other oceans, Indian Ocean, salt, Patrick, salt art for Patrick, he goes the closest, ding, 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 ding. So one wave, imagine one wave is created here in the storm. It could take, oh, the wrong direction, how many days it takes to be there. If it's between 1,000, 1,500 kilometers, it takes up to 3 days to get that wave, which just got created here in the storm, to come here. So that's why forecast comes really handy, because there are techniques where we can measure, oh, how big are the waves are going to be in the next few days. Make sense so far? Cool. So the swell, the energy, the storm creation, creates waves far out in the ocean. That storm is obviously traveling, maybe a bit more here, but they will create waves all along the wave. So the all along the wave. So the energy, you probably did that, like everyone played with a stone on a lake. If you drop the stone into the lake, then you see those ripple effect, boom, 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 boom. The same out of the ocean. So the forecast is really important for our surfers, because we can kind of predict, oh yeah, the next 3 days there's a big surf forecast, and kind of predict, yes, it's going to be epic. Here we go. Yeah, okay, I'm back. I think, yeah, just said like my internet is a bit slow. It could be, I hope it doesn't happen, but here in Spain, the internet is not as stable as, for example, in Germany or other countries. So it could be that we break down, but just click the link again. I will have some solutions here. Okay, I hope you understood it. So first of all, we have long travel waves, which comes our side, and the forecast is predicting us the waves. But have in mind, we have to have another vocabulary. We call this the swell energy, which is just a storm creating the energy into the water, which brings us waves. The second vocabulary, especially you beginners, is the following: the distance between one wave and the other wave, like from the side, it looks a bit like this. The distance between the wave we call the period. The period of the wave we measure in seconds. So you probably saw, maybe you saw, maybe you didn't, there's a big wave surfing. We call it Chasing Mavericks. There's a movie. So there's a guy, he's counting the seconds waves are coming in between the waves. We call it the period. So he was measuring per second. You can do it in your home break or your beach break where you surf. Again, you can take a watch and then you count the seconds. So you're counting the period between the waves. It's really important. I'll come to that in a second. So we measure that in seconds, S as second. So we have the swell, we have the period. What do you think is more handy? And I'll give you another, here we go. I can Umfrage. I cannot click it. Umfragerunde starten. No. Nah, I do it. I ask you here right live. There's too much clicking involved. What do you think is more handy? To have a more high period or a low period? What do you think the wave is nicer? Is it nicer to have a low period? Means like every 4 or 5 seconds a wave comes. Like I'm pedaling out, boom, another boom, another boom. Yeah, Edward van der Meer says already because she's from Holland. She said already higher period, high period. Patrick likes low period. Is it more handy to have like a few waves after each other, like really quick? The frequency is really high, so it has more power. High period, nice. Or is it more higher period? Higher period means like wave is coming, boom, and it takes another 10 seconds or even 12 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? And then the next wave comes. Usually, and that's the most important one. It's so funny that Edward van der Meer, she's from she's from Amsterdam, and she knows that in Holland you have more like a wind swell. We call it a wind swell. Swell is the energy. Why? Because the period is really low. Yeah, look at that. Here's England in front. When here's a big storm created, to get here to Holland, like England is beforehand. So all the storms usually you get are like from smaller storms which are closer. So the distance between the waves are really, really close. So the period is lower. If you have a lower period, so the seconds are really close, like boom, 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 you get wind swell. And yes, for like those perfect, beautiful documentary waves, which they come in beautiful lines, you need a higher period. So again, for all those people, we're learning here together. Higher period means more power, because I show you in a big storm, like there's like big waves, small waves, weird waves, everything is created in the storm. But how come that when we stand here in North Spain or in Portugal or in South Spain or in France, like those beautiful lines are coming in? It's like one line, another one, beautiful weather, beautiful. How does it come? I'll show you now. Imagine you're here, big storm, big storms, like big waves, smaller waves, ugly waves, another monster wave. Yeah. So we have high period waves and we have low period waves created in the storm. Don't worry, I will come to the forecast, but you have to understand that first. So once we come here, you have to think about more like the big waves. They have more power, more endurance. Yes, they can also travel further, travel longer. They can make the 1,000 kilometers. But all those small waves, I call it steves. All those small steves, they cannot make it. They're too weak. What happens is, like all those small ones, like, oh no, I'm too weak. I'm gonna go. Oh, you go further. And all those big boys, yeah, they just keep going because, oh, I have enough power. So what happens after a while, you see all those steves are passing, they're going away, and only those beautiful big ones stay in the line. So that's why if you come to the coastline and the swell, like the storm, had enough time to travel, so all those thieves go away, you can make sure that only the big ones survive. So the higher period waves, the more it traveled, the more cleaner the swell gets. Did you understand that? Quick thumbs up. Let me know. I'm super excited. I love coaching. It's getting more complicated, huh? But if you stayed with me from the beginning, you will understand it. Give me quicker thumbs up if you understood. Like we have the swell, we have the period, we have the high period, the lower period. So the distance between the waves are the periods. Here we go, here we go. Okay, Care said okay. Yeah, Patrick, Shaka, nice. So we're going more into details like how to read now a forecast. By the way, the advantage for you guys is the following. Because you're live, you can ask questions later. Like I leave enough time. So if you have questions, write it down next to it and ask me later. Or you have questions at the moment. Now we do it later. We do it later. Otherwise, it's going to be too complicated. But like I said, write everything down. Maybe you have already Surf Companion, write it down, make notes what I tell you, because sometimes I have really valuable information in between. I'm going to explain you stuff. Okay, cool. So the swell, you understood, big storms out there created. Wow, that brings some swell. But my question to you now is, and this is a question which you have to answer in the chat, like, who is measuring all those stuff? Like, who's measuring the energy? Like, out here in the ocean? Is there a guy, or is maybe the boats have a kind of a system on board, like for us, for the surfers? What do you think is measuring? Jesus? Care is saying Jesus. I've never heard that in 10 years. It's amazing. So Care says there's Jesus out there, yeah, and he's like having a mobile phone, and he's sending us always like the forecast, like ding, 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 and we all get the information. Amazing. Care said Jesus. Uh, other ideas about like who is sending us those information, who we get the information from? Small brainstorm here. Let me know in the chats quick. Yes, Care said yes. Okay, then we stick with Jesus. Okay, no one. It usually takes a bit. Die Boje in de Zee. Yes, it's also from Netherlands. He's one of our ambassadors. There are tons of buoys out in the ocean. Here we go. Dobbs08. You are 100% right. So all those buoys are out there. Buoys are like the measuring things, especially for boats, but they're also measuring our waves. So what do they exactly measure? So I'm going to draw a buoy. Looks a bit more like this. Usually they have flags, ding, ding, and they usually do ding, 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 right? So they measure all around in the ocean. They're all, like a lot of them, yeah? They measure, and now it comes, which is really important because a lot of people look at the forecast and it says 1 meter, 10 seconds, and offshore. I come to that in a second, don't worry, you will understand everything. But those buoys will measure the distance they lifted up, they got lifted up, and of course the period. So if they get lifted up, I'm a buoy right now, like a wave is coming in the ocean, whoop, I can measure, I got lifted up 30 centimeters, that was one wave, and I can measure how many seconds in between the next wave, 30 seconds, and go down. So I can measure the height, yeah, so the meters, for example, 1 meter, 30 centimeters. By the way, we Europeans have to say nothing in surfing. That's why it's usually measured in feet and inches. But let's stay with meters. I'm German, we are a bit more Europe style here. But I saw some, even from the Bronx English. but he will probably get confused here. But the 1 meter 30 centimeters is just going up and down, and they measure the period, so the seconds in between. So the seconds, I'm going to write down period. What does it mean for our surf forecast, which comes now? If you're on the laptop right now, yeah, maybe you're on the laptop like me, I'm going to send you now. It doesn't matter if you're on the phone, it's also fine. Here we go. Look at this. You can rather go to this website, that website. Like there are four main ones which I use. I will explain you. You can also look back in the chat. That's also fine. By the way, I will also send you an email with all the link details. But you have to have this information which I give you. By the way, I give you also some pro tips out of my experience about forecast, because reading the forecast and understanding the forecast is kind of an art, because you have to know almost every beach by itself. Okay, but in general, this knowledge, which I give you even further, will help you tremendously. Because I remember the time when I started surfing and I looked at Magic Seaweed, for example. This is one of the platforms. We're gonna go now into examples. We're gonna put this away for a second. So Magic Seaweed, by the way, all the links are in there. Please stay with me live instead of going, maybe you can open a new tab. But Magic Seaweed, for example, MSW, it's like Magic Seaweed, is the following. Magic Seaweed is telling you the meters, the period, the offshore, of onshore. By the way, for beginners, off and onshore are the local winds. When it's onshore, it means like the wind is blowing from the ocean to the shore, like onshore means we have a lot of white water, crumbly. When we have offshore, it goes from the land into the wave and stays beautiful, open, like those Bali Instagram photos. Yeah, so offshore is always nice. Against the waves, have in mind, stay with me. So Magic Seaweed, for example, is measuring the following. We go into the examples. So we say, for example, for the next few days, or let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow it would say Magic Seaweed for your local spot, 1 meter. And I want another color. The color's nice. 1 meter. Oh, this is red. 1 meter. Then it says 10 seconds. And then it says 5 kilometers per hour. Like for the Americans here, like miles per hour. And then usually they have an arrow here, kind of an arrow. Oh, and the other one here has also an arrow. Yeah, like a kind of a direction. And you probably feel like, okay, what's going on here in the forecast? Okay. In a different platform, I'm using, for example, Surf Min Forecast. This is actually my favorite go-to forecast platform. I tell you why. Like you're gonna write Surf Min forecast.com. The link is, by the way, here in the chat. The forecast.com, like the surfminforecast.com, has the advantage to show you a little bit more nicer, in my experience, and makes you more understanding also about low tide, high tide. Everything is in one chart. So to make it not complicated, really simple right now, in this forecast, everything is included what I taught you beforehand on flip chart number 1 with the storms and swell and coming. Why? When you look at the forecast, imagine you see in your app Magic Seaweed or online with Surf-Forecast or with Wind Guru. It's also possible. I don't like Wind Guru. By the way, I don't get sponsored for any platform. It's for free for everyone. But Wind Guru looks a bit too complicated. And you have also Wind Finder, but Wind Finder is a specialty. I would use Wind Finder only for the wind because it looks amazing. We can click hour-wise, like what the local wind is doing. It's like when it's turning to on or to offshore. It's beautiful. But let's stick with Magic Seaweed and Surf Forecast. So Magic Seaweed, for example, could say, okay, tomorrow Thursday we have 1 meter, we have 10 seconds, and we have 5 km per hour. The first number you see, the meter, what do you think is this meter saying? Tell me quick. What do you think? Like we kind of answered it, but just to make sure you understand, like the first meter, what does it means? Does it mean like there's 1 meter, like on the beach, like on the spot? Because every forecast is a different spot. I'm gonna go for El Palmar because I'm in El Palmar right now in South Spain, but you could also be in the Algarve, in North Spain, in Oyambre, whatever it is. Höhe der Welle. Okay, Timmy Ban says it's the height of the wave. It's the height of the wave, yeah. Okay, that's nice, but where? It's like out in the ocean or on the beach, like the height, the actual breaking wave. Is it that? What do you guys think, Timmy and Dobbs? Like, is that if you see 1 meter? I thought Laird Hamilton forecast all big wave information. I thought Laird Hamilton forecast all big wave information. Eh? I don't understand. Laird Hamilton? Yeah, we all know Laird Hamilton. But what do you mean with big wave forecast? This is a general forecast. You can apply it to everything. But the first meter, you said it, is already the height of the wave, but not the breaking wave. And this is the most important thing, which I had to learn the hard way. I thought when the forecast says 1 meter in front, closest buoy, yeah, not bad, care. So the meter is measured by the buoys, still by the buoys out there in the ocean, because you have to combine all those 3 things to the actual breaking wave. So the height of the wave is a combination of those 3 things, even 4 things, because you have to apply the local beach with the low and the high tide. Closest buoy, perfect. Yeah. So have in mind, I did a mistake, because when I started surfing or reading forecasts, I thought 1 meter, woohoo, it's going to be 1 meter breaking wave on my beach break now where I'm at. No, I came there and it was almost flat. And I was like, eh? But the forecast said 1 meter. How come? Okay, come there in a second. When there's this 1 meter of swell out there, it could be like the buoy, yeah, I'm gonna draw it again. It's like it's getting lifted up 1 meter. Yeah, the buoy out there, the buoy. But it's not here in the ocean, at the beach already. You're standing here on the beach, waiting with your surfboard in your hand, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm looking for waves to come. But 1 meter is not 1 meter breaking here, exactly 1 meter. No, because you have to combine the seconds and the local wind. So here we go. If we go to a local spot, let's say a normal beach break. Beach break is like when there's sand underneath. This is sand. When the forecast is 1 meter, like the buoy is measuring 1 meter out of the ocean with a 10-second period, like I asked the Netherlands from Amsterdam, do you think 10 seconds is good? It's like, is it powerful because it travels so long? Or do you think more like 10 seconds is not that high? It's probably like more softer because the storm is created really close to the ocean. What do you guys think? It will have some power? Or do you think 10 seconds? It's not 15 or 20. What do you guys think? 10 seconds periods. Would you go in as a Dutchie? 100%. Quite good. Yes, Care. It's really quite good. I have the first answer. Guys, it usually takes a few seconds, your answers, until I can see it on the screen. That's why I'm sometimes waiting here. I can read. No problemo. Okay, let's go back. Have in mind that 1 meter out in the buoys with 10 seconds of periods. That's quite good. 10 seconds means you know, oh, there was a big storm, and the 10-second period will come because they have enough powers. All the small steves went away. We have a ground swell, like a nice swell. But now this one is really interesting. And the arrows. The arrows show you like you have to look from above. From above means still have the land, the country in mind, like the landscape. So I remember I'm going to draw it here in small again. When this is Ireland, England, and there we go, France here, North Spain, and Portugal. And this is Portugal down here. You have to have in mind, if the swell comes in this direction, yeah, you have to think north, south, east, and west. If this is north, oops, and be north. If the arrow goes like here, it probably comes from this direction. So north, west, northwest, west, northwest. Yeah, so it's not totally west from this direction, and it's not totally north. Yeah, before it's getting too complicated, you have to also think in directions, because, and now it's getting interesting. When this one from the west is showing in this direction, that meter swell with 10 seconds will hit our ocean in this direction. So imagine you're in Portugal and you have this forecast. Yeah, you're on a beach here, and the beach is facing the west. So in this direction, yeah, we think about northwest, east, and south. That beach will definitely get some swell, definitely get some waves, 100% sure. But imagine you just to the south, and the second beach here is more like facing the south. It could be with this kind of swell direction, new vocabulary, swell direction will hit here, but it will lose a lot of energy. Oh, I cannot go around here to make beautiful waves on the other side, on the beach, which facing the south. I hope you understood that. Give me a quick thumbs up if you understand. Yeah, in Netherlands, Edward van der Meer said in Netherlands, 10 seconds is quite good. Yes, I heard a saying in Netherlands, everything above 5 seconds, they go in. Yeah, but it is true. I also surfed in Holland. Timmy understood it perfect. So it's not only 1 meter, 10 seconds, and 5 kilometers per hour. No, you have to also think about the arrows, because imagine the same forecast, but the arrows would be more like a south arrow. Yeah, a bit like this. Here, nothing changed. Yeah, but suddenly this swell direction, because maybe the storm was created more like down here, is different. So if you're in Portugal, yeah, because there's a nice corner, or we can do it also in North Spain. Imagine here's North Spain, this is Portugal, here in North Spain. Here in Galicia, yeah, it comes from north. Nah, we stay with Portugal. So here the beach will get a lot of swell because it's from south, boom, 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 they get a lot of waves. But here, those beaches, they're way smaller. I hope you understood it, because this is really important to read a forecast proper. So swell direction is important. So west, north, south, east. So you have to know which direction the swell is coming. Surf Forecast, the other platform, shows it, for example, as more, they write west, north, west. Like, okay, you understand west, north, west. Ah, this is the direction. Magic Seaweed, for example, shows it with an arrow. Ooh, okay. But you have to know, what do they show? The swell direction. Another one, buoys. So they show 1 meter up and down. 10 seconds, how strong the period is. The whole the period, the higher the period, the more power they have. And the last but not least, and you see another arrow, is the local wind. Local winds means with 5 kilometers per hour, usually we don't want a lot of wind, but if we want wind as surfers against the wave, we call it offshore. Offshore. Yes, we love offshore. So offshore makes the wave more like, yoo-hoo, beautiful, beautiful spray here. Really nice and hollow, because the wind is blowing into the wave, against it. Woo! So if we combine the swell direction, you see that the swell direction is going from west to east. But that arrow goes from east to west. What do you think? You have a 50-50 chance. Is this forecast onshore or offshore? Let me know quick. Is it onshore or offshore? Don't worry about the spelling. If you heard it the first time, you can say it on or off. What do you think? I know there are only numbers and arrows, but think more like visually. You're on the beach, offshore. Timmy says offshore, 5 kilometers. You have 50-50 chance. Another 20 seconds. Let's go. Okay. Another off, off, off. You guys, I know I have only experts here in the chat already. Exactly, it's offshore. If the arrow would be the other way around, it would be the same direction as the swell. You can think, oh yeah, true. Like it goes the same way where the swell is going. So it's onshore because it's from the ocean to the shoreline. So what's important for us is to know, I hope you understood those ones, like you have swell direction, we have swell, we have period, we have even local winds on or offshore, and then we have even low and high tide. Oh, that is a lot, guys. So you see already, it's not just like opening an app and look, there's a 1 meter, let's go surfing. No, you have to combine those things with your experience. So what comes? If you come to a new surf spot, yeah, you have to know the surf. There are a lot of guides out there. You can look every surf spot up, how they look like. For example, are they better wave breaking because of the reef form or the beach breaks? Are they breaking better by low tide, mid tide, or high tide? Yeah. If they're breaking better mid to high, then you also have to consider the low and high tide. Low and high tide, Ebbe und Flut, yeah, in Deutsch, in Deutsch. But here in English, you have to consider the low and high tide as well. So we don't want to make it too complicated. That's why we combine now everything. When you have a forecast like this, 1 meter, 10 seconds, slightly offshore, which is perfect. In a normal beach break, that wave would break around, what do you think, guys? How big is the wave? And yes, we are measuring, of course, that height here in front because we want to surf this part. Don't worry about the back part here. Like imagine you standing here in your surf spot. You check with your app, how big is the actually really breaking wave? You're at the reef, you're at the spot. What do you think, guys? Let me know quick. Like 1 meter, 10 seconds. Maybe you had already some forecasts and then you were at the beach. 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter is like this from the ground, like this. Yeah, 1 meter. I have 1 meter legs, so around here. But then with offshore and with 10 seconds periods and with a nice beach break around low tide. A lot of vocabularies, huh? It's like sounds like a different language here. What do you guys think? How big is the actually breaking wave? Like I'm talking about a big set. What do you think? Quick, chat, go. It's so cool that I can ask you questions and you can just write it in. Look, this is my dog again, chasing cats probably. Let me know. What do you think? Everyone is a bit scared? No? No answers? No? What do you think how big the wave is? No one? I can also tell you. It usually takes a while again, huh? What was 30 seconds or something? No one answering? I give you another 5, 4, 3, 2. Man high. Oh, that's a nice explanation. Exactly. We call it man high. Yeah, we can also call it head high, around 1.6 meters. Wow, this is really exact. But how do we measure a wave? Like I draw here, someone is surfing. So when you're at the beach, probably some people are surfing because #secret spot, all the spots are discovered, unless you're going really weird in a boat trip somewhere on an island. But if you're at the spot and someone is surfing there, yeah, you can see already, whoa, that wave is like shoulder high for him, like when he's surfing a green wave, or chest high, head high, double overhead, knee high, ankle high, yeah, or double over ankle, yeah. Stick with your body, because if you stick with your body, everyone understands it, because I'm 168, like 6'2" or 6'1" in American style, and you can look when you come out of the water and you tell, oh yeah, it was head high. They look at you like, whoa, shit, yeah, whoa, it was actually quite big. But if a small kid comes and it's like, yeah, it was chest high, for you it's probably hip high. I hope you understand it. So yes, you're right, Care. That would be around head, shoulder to head high for me. So this is way bigger than 1 meter. So have in mind, when you look at a forecast, this wave around 1 meter 10 seconds could be a breaking solid head high wave. So one person is in there and it would be like take up the whole body, like, whoa, surfing. It's way bigger than 1 meter. And now it comes. And now it's getting excited because you have all the knowledge I gave you right now to understand what I'm going to give you, for example. So imagine we change only one number. Yeah, one number means like instead of 1 meter, 1 meter, we have half a meter. So 0.5 meters. Yeah, but still 10 seconds and still offshore. Yeah, means like 0.5, like half of the buoys going up and down. Yeah, and still 10 seconds. So the period is still high, but offshore. How big do you think is still the breaking wave? If it's 1 meter, it's still overhead. What do you think with half a meter? Half a meter is seriously, it's like, wait, if this is a meter, this is half a meter. Half a meter, but with 10 seconds and offshore. Offshore makes it even more steeper. What do you, when it's like, instead of shoulder to overhead? What do you guys think? I answered quick because you're too smart for this workshop. What you got? By the way, I have a small present for you. If you stick to the end, I want to come to that. By the way, it's not so much more, but I hope you understood. If we open 5 in 10 seconds, it's still around hip to chest high, and hip to chest high is for me more than 1 meter. Like 0.5, you probably sometimes think, it's almost nothing. What is this? 50 centimeters, 30 centimeters? What is this? Yeah, but with 10 seconds, sometimes it can be up to a chest, belly to chest high wave, which is really nice to surf and really solid with an offshore. I hope you understand, because now it comes how important the period is. There's a Magic Seaweed, a whole article about the following, which I'm going to explain you. Yes, 1 per 2.5 meters. Now, 2.5 meters is a lot. But more important, which I come to you, Greg, now. Greg, listen up. Every one of you, listen up. But listen up now. Imagine I have 1 meter again, like the forecast. The buoys are measuring 1 meter, but I double the seconds. So instead of 10 seconds, it's 20 seconds. We said already with 1 meter and 10 seconds is a head high wave. Yeah, it's like a shoulder to head high wave. What do you think is going to happen when I double up the period? It's the 1 meter wave. Yes, Edward from that was perfect. But 1 meter with 20 seconds. 20 seconds is really rare, usually a really big swell. Like one time I even surfed a hurricane. Like in America, you have hurricane season on the East Coast sometimes. It's really sad, but some hurricanes bring such powerful waves which come to us in perfect clean waves to Europe. I had that once. 1, 2 times, or maybe it's double head high. Yeah, Care said double head high, which makes sense. If I double up the number here, the period, it will double up here. Beach day, if a beach break or higher. Care, you're right, it is even higher. The Magic Seaweed article says if you double up the period here, it quadruples. It quadruples. So 1 meter of 20 seconds, I only one time saw here, but it was way too big. So with double a period, it quadruples in a normal breaking wave. So it means like it's 4 times me, which is around 5-6 meters, yeah, which is crazy big. So you see the power of the period. You have to, by the way, 20 seconds, you don't see so much. You see usually swells around 8, 9, and 10 seconds. If you have really good swells, also around 15 seconds. When you're in Sri Lanka, you usually see a really low zero point 0.3, something like that meters with 18 seconds, and it's a chest high wave. Yeah. So those kind of forecasts you have to have in mind if you look at forecasts right now. Yeah. So if you check, oh yeah, for example, surf forecast, magic seaweed, and they give you magic seaweed, sometimes is a bit irritating because every forecast it shows you like stars, and it's like, oh, 5 stars, and you get excited, like, yeah, 5 stars, it's gonna be amazing. But if you think for yourself exactly what we did now the whole 45 minutes, like you look at the beach, on the beaches in this direction, swell direction is also west. Oh yeah, my beach is totally against it. Yeah, the swell definitely hits my beach. So this is cool. 1 meter, that's nice. 10 seconds, yeah. Offshore, yeah. You know what I mean? For example, if your beach goes in this direction, like totally west, but the swell is northwest or by now almost north, yeah, doesn't matter if it's 1 meter in 10 seconds. Yeah, it loses a lot of energy and will not hit the beach break, like here, the sandbanks, as perfect if it would be hit more like west northwest or west direction. I hope you understood that, and that makes sense because that helped me a lot. And I was not so much, how do you say, disappointed every time I come to the beach. You don't want to know how many times I was at the beach and like, but the forecast said something different. By the way, yeah, two, Greg said it already, 2.5, 300-meter high, perfect. Takes a while, the internet, but I will teach you some pro tips here. Again, out of my experience, which you don't get so much. If you look now at forecast, I hope you understood what the forecast is showing so you can read the forecast better. But to make it in more details, to really say like, oh yeah, in so and so few days, will so and so waves are coming. Trust me, guys, please trust me. To make it really like to say, yeah, those waves are coming, usually you can only tell 2 days in advance. Like when you go 1 or 2 days, when you look at a forecast in advance, 2 days, it's usually around 90% true. Yeah, 90%, usually the next few days, 2 days, 1, 2 days. The next day is usually like 100% sure. But if you look, and yes, surf forecast even gives you a 12 days forecast. Trust me, guys, don't look at the 12th day, and then say like, yeah, those waves are coming. A lot of things are changing on the way. Maybe the boys will reconsider their forecast on the way because, like I said, the waves are traveling really far. Maybe the energy is losing. Maybe another swell is suddenly building up and is destroying the other swell and they neutralize. Stuff like that happens. Or the local wind is suddenly changing. Yeah. Like you were crying your eyes out because, like, oh, 4 days ago it says offshore and now I'm here on the beach and it's onshore. Guys, this is nature and this makes surfing so beautiful because every day is different. But if you have those special days, probably you experienced that, guys, like where it's sunny, it's almost no wind or slightly offshore, the swell is perfect, high period, you have almost no people on the water. Those magical days, because they're so rare and everything has to come together, like weather-wise and wave-wise, and your equipment and yourself and your fitness, which makes those surf sessions unbelievable. Imagine you have every day like perfect conditions. It's kind of boring, you know, it's like you go surfing again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, to read the forecast also makes you excited about like, oh yeah, I heard next week is as welcome. You know, I'm still gonna be. That's what I love about the sport. You're still a kid. You're like, oh yeah, looking at the forecast and so on. But you have to have in mind more knowledge. Pro tip: if you look in advance, for example, 12 days or a week, maybe you're planning your surf trips ahead a week, then I would rather look at the storm chart, not really in details, but have a look like, wow, is there a lot of swell coming, like forecast, or the next few days or not? If you really look in particular, like, like, oh, 1 meter, 4.5 meter by 4 seconds, it's like, it's not going to work. More look in general, wow, in a week or 12 days, there's a big swell coming. So usually when there's a big swell coming, Magic Seaweed has also a nice a digital way of showing like the storm, which just moves by day. It's more like a weather channel almost, like bam, bam, bam. It looks beautiful. Then you kind of know, oh yeah, a big swell is created, which should bring the waves also to my coast, Europe, Portugal, England, Holland, wherever you are. Yeah, this gives you an indication. It doesn't really necessarily say that, yeah, in 1 week exactly those waves are on my beach. No, 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 no. So the closer the forecast is to your day of surfing, so for example tomorrow, you can be sure 90 to 100%. But if it goes longer in advance in the future, then the accuracy will drop. Did you understood everything which I just told you here right now? Let me know quick. Give me a thumbs up. I love it. Okay, care. Okay, I like it. Okay, nice. Another one. Okay, because I will change now. Timmy's thumbs up. I will change now to your questions, which makes this workshop so beautiful. By the way, I give you another pro experience tip because you probably sometimes went on the beach. Uli, nice. Even on the beach, and the forecast was perfect. Like the wind, there's no wind, swell, but somehow the waves are breaking weird. It's like the forecast is perfect. Conditions are actually perfect for the waves, and the waves are coming, and it's like, and you're like, huh? What is it? Usually in the mornings. It's kind of a mythology, like a mythos. It's something really weird, and I think a lot of surfers still, there is no real answer for it, but in the surfing world, we call it the morning sickness. So the morning sickness, you know how it's written down, so the morning sickness could sometimes happen. So the first few hours after the first light, you're super stoked, you go surfing there, and you're like, eh? Like, there's beautiful offshore wind. Swell should be there as well, but they're so breaking weird and so on. Have in mind that it's cool. It's like you have to know that because it will happen in your surfing life. So morning sickness is something besides now reading the forecast. What I else want to show you. So if there's a morning coming, have in mind Daniel from Surf Companions told you like, oh yeah, it's morning sickness. So you can tell your surf buddy, oh, it's probably morning sickness. And suddenly at lunchtime, suddenly the waves are on, which how they're supposed to be. Another pro tip I will give you is you probably know between low and high tide. Low tide is like when it's totally low, you can see the stones and the rocks and so. And then it's going high tide and again low tide. Between then, it's like around 6.21 hours. What you have to know is, and this is also more like an experience out of all those years of surf coaching and surfing, usually a new swell, a new storm is arriving 80, I would say 70-80% is usually arriving more with the upcoming tide. So imagine that would be like 6 in the morning on this day, and this will be 12 in the midday. The forecast says already like, wow, new swell at 6 o'clock. There will be 4 feet, like, or 1 meter, 10 seconds again. Like we stay with the 1 meter, 10 second thing to make it easier. It will be already at 6 o'clock. And you stand there at 6 o'clock. I want to go surf. And there's nothing. And you wonder, hey, the forecast said 6 o'clock. What's happening? Guys, this is nature. Yeah. Have in mind that it could be, and this is more like an experience thing. You can tell me your maybe you experience that as well. Leave a comment below, like in the chat. Usually it comes with the upcoming tide, around 3, 4. So with the new upcoming tide, a new swell arrives. Like I said, this is more like an experience thing. There's no big rule because this is nature, this is something beautiful, which makes this sport also one of the most difficult sports in the world because we have to adapt to nature. Don't forget, guys, nature here, we are here. But I hope after this live workshop, I brought you with this knowledge even closer to understand the waves better. And now we're gonna go to the questions. Guys, do you have questions about reading the forecast? I know there's a lot more to explore, but otherwise I would talk the whole night about every little detail. I hope I make this the clearest I could be, and let me know quick your questions because this makes it so special. Of course, you can watch the after movie on YouTube. Also, by the way, I'm happy to leave some comments if you have more questions, but this time is for you guys now. Very good info care are super nice. By the way, I still want to give you your present, so stick with me. I'm really excited about the questions. What do you got? Maybe you don't have questions, then let me know I don't have questions. And I probably think that you look at a forecast now a bit different. Oh yeah, the coefficient. What's in English again? Yeah, Timmy, I have the answer. So Timmy just asking what makes the coefficient? I think that's the English word. I don't mind. I embarrass myself. Coefficient. Okay, what a coefficient in German is, it's like the difference between low and high tide. So usually, because the low and high tide is made by the moon and the has gravity on the water, and that's why we have two high tides at the same time going on. Daniel was mind blowing. Oh, thanks, Patrick. Okay, back to the question. The coefficient is really important to know because sometimes the low tide could be around 0, and then the high tide could be around 2 meters. So the difference between low and high tide is 0 and 2 meters. But the moon is sometimes closer. We have full moon, we have a new moon, we have two nip tides every month. So the difference, it could change like from really high, low and high tides to really soft, low and high tides. This is what the question from Patrick is. And what kind of impact it has on the waves? It has a lot of impact because if between 6 hours, like a lot of movement of the water is different than almost no up the whole sea level up and down. So you have to have in mind, Timmy, once you're surfing out there and it's full moon and it's like high amplitude between high and low water, you have to deal also usually with more currents. So because there's a lot of water coming, but at the same time the whole ocean is pulling out. Yeah, so in general there is more water movement. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a wave. So there's more water movement at all. So usually when there's more and heavy rising of the tide, there is more water involved, more push, but you have probably around then like a smaller period of time which is like the waves are really good, and then suddenly it's already too high. Okay, because when you have a higher difference between low and high, imagine you're on a reef in Bali, there's a reef break, and the waves are breaking perfectly around mid-tide, which is around here, mid-tide. Yes, woo, you're surfing here right now, but you have a heavy difference between low and high tide. Suddenly, after 2 hours, because it will rise a lot more than usual, the wave is almost not breaking here anymore because it has too much distance between the reef. I hope you understood it. But if the difference between low and high is almost nothing, yeah, then it stays another 2-3 hours, will stay in this level, yeah, to make you beautiful breaking waves. Does that make sense, Timmy? So it has an impact, yeah. We just recently had it, FOMO. Ich habe wir bekommen einen Camper gekackt, sorry. Schneidlings P. I don't know what he's saying. Have you been in my camper? I don't think so. Daniel was mind-blowing. Thanks. Timmy understood. Perfect. Do you have more questions, guys? Now is the time to ask about forecast, reading forecast. Do you understand the ways before I give you your awesome present? Because I love that you take your time here in the evening to, yeah, to get better in surfing. Not a lot of people doing that, to getting really actively involved. By the way, should I wait? Okay, thanks a lot again for your explanation. Really awesome. Cool. This is more like a thank you instead of question. Amazing. If I explained everything and you understood it, makes me really happy. By the way, if you have further question, you can leave a comment on this video, every video, or write a direct DM message to us. But I have a special present for you. Are you excited? You should be. The last present, or the present I want to give you, because I'm really stoked that you take your time here live being with me, interact right in the chats, which makes me super excited. I saw already like more than 100 people in total were like in the chat. Late party, can you comment on energy? Late to the party. Can you comment on energy? Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, we have one more question. The Esteban comes a bit late to the party, but about energy. The cool thing, that's why I like Surf Min Forecast. If you scroll back to the links, Surf Minus Forecast is one of my favorites because it also shows energy. Energy is measured in kilojoules. So, for example, if you would go to the kilojoules, they show you the energy. Yeah, energy of the waves is also measured a bit by the buoys, but it will also give you an indication how powerful the waves are. So, for example, you go to the beach, you have 1 meter in 10 seconds, and surf forecast even says like 500 kilojoules. Kilojoules, yeah, it's kind of powerful. You could also have 1 meter 10 seconds, but also only 200 kilojoules. It will still be the same height, kind of, but not as powerful. Usually, the energy, which makes sense, go more up as the period goes up as well. So if you look at the forecast, and this is around 15 seconds, 16 seconds, which we have right now in El Palmar, by the way, tomorrow. Yes, I'm super excited. Then you have around 800 kilojoules, boom, energy. But if the period is dropping, usually the energy is dropping as well. Straight up in red and arrows in green. What does that mean specific for the wind? I hope you understood it. So more period, more energy. Energy also in surf forecast gives you an indicator. Okay, what is the difference between primary and secondary swell? Oh yeah, good one. So Craig, now the questions are rolling in. Huh? We have a ground swell and we have usually also secondary swell. Secondary swells could be, for example, from different directions, or we have a ground swell, like which brings the high period ones, and in between we have sometimes still local winds, which creates overnight like smaller waves, or like sometimes those steves still survive and travel with you to the beach. This is what we call the secondary swell. So we have sometimes more than one swell. One swell would be perfect because then it would be clean, only one big wave, another one. But in between, there could also be like a secondary swell, which sometimes is bad for you surfing because you want to catch a wave and suddenly a small wave is in front of the other one. Yeah. Or like in between, there's a weird wave coming. We call it a secondary swell. It's usually in the forecast as well. So the more less swells there in the ocean, the better your surf usually is. Planet Surf hat den Illusion gemacht, also Kurs, Schneidlings. Okay, he's talking about the surf camp. Little late put the party. Cool. Magic Seaweed has arrows pointing straight up in the red and arrows in green. What does it mean specifically for the winds? Okay, perfect. I will understand. I hope you understood that one with a mixed swell or a secondary swell. Craig says the arrows pointing straight up in red and arrows in green by Magic Seaweed. First, I have to. By the way, Magic Seaweed, I can show you quick, is a really good option. Also, the mobile version. I have a look. The cool thing is what he means is the coloring. So for example, I hope you can see it. Yeah, it's here. You have yellow and you have green. Usually we want as surfers, we want green colored arrows because they calculate it and they say yellow is kind of strong wind, medium strong wind. Red is already full on wind. We want the green arrows, means like almost no wind. And if there's wind, we want to have it in our direction against the swell, so offshore. That's why Magic Seaweed colors it differently. For example, here in El Pomar, it's all green again here on the side, but here it's more stronger. If you click on it, you can see, whoa, it's 19 miles per hour. And this is a lot. That's why it's colored yellow. Wind, I hope that understood. How can I calculate the height of waves on the beach with 1 meter in offshore wind, for example? You conclude that will be 1.6 meters. I cannot tell for every spot it's going to be 1.6 meter, but usually it's around chest to head height depending on the spot. If you surf, for example, over a reef and the reef is really shallow, boom, and at low tide, it could be even bigger with 1 meter in 10 seconds and offshore. So the best is to go to your spot where you surf and see the forecast and apply it to the forecast. I hope you understood. For example, if you know your beach in South France, where we're going to do a surf week together end of August, if you're interested, check out the website, then you know a beach break with 1 meter, 10 seconds will be good. You know what I mean? Like I said, in Holland, you know, wow, even 0.5 meter with 10 seconds in Holland, there will be a surfable wave. You know what I mean? So you have to know your spot and also combine all the surf forecast knowledge which I gave you. So there's a last one, helps a lot. Is the limit of energy you would say is somehow destroying a good swell, meaning make it unsurfable for normal people? Amazing, the Esteban question. Yeah, he said, is there a limit of energy? Usually the best one is around maximum, I would say 1,000 energy. If it goes more than 1,000, I would take a rest day or I would choose another spot. Usually 1,000 is okay, that's enough. Yeah, I hope that was a cool answer for you, because you know, above 1,000 is a lot. Like, you have to know the spot, you have to know your board, your equipment, everything. Okay, guys, I love that you ask so cool questions. I hope I gave all the answers. So yeah, Esteban, I'm super stoked. I still want to give you your present before my battery is empty. It could be that I go, but I give you still your last present. And the last present is the following. On our Surf Companions books, we cannot give any discounts because there's a law in Germany. It's called Buchpreisbindung. We are not allowed to give discounts on books. We wish sometimes, especially for people like you who are really interested in our products and what we develop for you to improve your surfing. But we can give you discounts on our online courses. And this is what I want to give you. Yeah, I give you not 10, 20, 30. I give you 50% on our surf skate and our mobility routine course, because mobility routine courses we develop with a physio mobility trainer, which gives you amazing mobility for your surfing. I do it myself. Actually, I developed all the products kind of for me, but have in mind the surf skate. If you want to learn surf skate from zero to really do a proper cutback, which makes your cutback amazing in surfing, I give you 50%. By the way, you don't get that much only because you live here with me. All you have to do is when you go on our website, you have to use SC50. SC50 is Surf Companions 50. And because it's special for you guys, SC50, I write it here down in the chats again in your checkout, and you get 50% on the mobility course and on the surf skate course. I hope you like it, because this is, by the way, the checkout code only works until tonight, 12 o'clock. You have to be quick because it should be only for you guys, because it's a present. Yeah. By the way, as you might know, I do advanced coaching, one-on-one coaching live right here until June and in South Spain. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, We also have live coaching calls. So, for example, if you want to improve your surf skating or your surfing, but we are on different beaches, the digital world makes it happen. Marvin and me, we are professional surf coaches. You can also book a live call with us digitally, and we discuss your videos. And last but not least, I have a few places still open for end of August. We have one surf camp week in South France. If you want to have more information, DM, info, email us, whatever you like. It was a pleasure, guys. I really love the connection, and I really like that you guys are connecting here with the chat and using this free surf knowledge. But write me quick what kind of topic you want to learn next, because I'm going to do every month a live workshop, every single month. What kind of topic you're interested, or what is the most you didn't understand or you most struggle with? Maybe it's the timing with green wave, whatever it is. Write it quick down before my battery goes off, and then I can consider it in my next workshop. So thanks again for your time. It was amazing. And let me know quick your topic, and then I wish you a nice evening, the rest of the evening. Thank you, guys. Okay. I will see the topics in a few seconds. So yeah, that was it. Like I said, we have the beginner and the intermediate surf companions. Shows you everything in detail. We have the live coaching calls, the real coaching call, the SC50. Use it right now. Go directly to dry training. Amazing. I'm going to write this down. Dry training. Yes. By the way, if you want to have dry training, stick with me. I just developed a fitness course with a physiotherapist. We just finished here in South Spain, and fin setup would be nice. Board shapes and fin setup. I like that. And the Esteban, stay with us on Instagram, because the next few days we're gonna have it also online. The best get ready surf course you ever saw. Dry training, board checks, and fins. Amazing. I have already 2 months full. Struggle a little bit with paddle technique. Paddle technique is also nice. Cool. I can fill a full session with that. No worries. I come from swimming. Looking forward. Okay, guys. It was a pleasure. I really like it. And like I said, this year is all about you, 2023. Smash it. It's going to be an amazing year. And I can't wait to see you next on board. Fin setup for me too. Okay, cool. Thanks for your time. DM me, share it on Instagram on your story that you did this live workshop. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a great evening.